Back at the book segment tonight, as we said last night, the Benghazi story has now become a partisan situation. Those who dislike President Obama want the story pursued aggressively. Those who support the president, not so much.
What we have seen over the past 2 weeks is a full-scale media campaign that is not designed to investigate what happened in a responsible and bipartisan way, but rather a launch of unfounded accusations to smear public officials. Let me be clear. I am not questioning the motives of our witnesses. I am questioning the motives of those who want to use their statements for political purposes.
All right, joining us now from Washington, Kate Obenshain, a Republican strategist, and Democrat Kirsten Powers, a Fox News analyst. All right, Powers. There were, a bunch of Democrats. Carolyn Maloney, we'll get a soundbite from her in a moment. One of them who just didn't, nothing here, they don't really want to know. And you say?
Oh, I just think that the behavior of the Democrats today was just astonishing. They had no interest whatsoever in what the witnesses were saying, which was riveting, I think, for anybody who watched it. And there was a lot of new information in it. And to hear, Elijah Cummings saying, oh, I want to hear what the witnesses say, I just don't like the way it's going to be used, fine. Then ignore the way it's going to be used and just listen to the witnesses. And instead, he put out a statement after the hearing basically saying, oh, the Republicans up to their old tricks. I mean, Gregory Hicks is not there as a Republican. He was the #2 person in Libya, and he's there telling them all this information, including the fact that nobody in Libya thought it was anything but a terrorist attack. How is that not interesting to people?
Look, it was obvious that the Democrats on the committee are going to protect Mrs. Clinton and Mr. Obama, Kate. They didn't ask any penetrating questions. Their statements were rife with, oh, this is just a witch hunt kind of rhetoric. I want to run a Carolyn Maloney soundbite. She's a Democratic congressman from New York. Go.
I find it truly disturbing and very unfortunate that when Americans come under attack, the first thing some did in this country was attack Americans, attack the military, attack the president, attack the State Department, attack the former senator from the great state of New York, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
I don't think that was the first thing that happened after the Benghazi attack. That came a little bit later. You say?
Really, the disturbing part about this is the first thing that happened was the President and the Secretary of State engaged. I know you said we don't have proof about that yet, but we know that they engaged in an extended political cover-up. That was the reason for the questions that started coming forth when everyone in the State Department knew, everyone in the White House knew that this was not a spontaneous protest, that it was a terrorist attack, and yet for weeks, even with the families of the victims standing there, the President asserted that this was the result of a hateful video. That is the stunning part. It's stunning that the Democrats are saying, oh, no, it's a budget issue, that Cummings said, oh, death is a part of life. This is stunning stuff, and the problem is it is getting closer and closer to, as McCain said, Graham said, the dam is about to break, and the truth is going to come out, and that is the last thing that the Democrats want, but they're not helping their case right now.
Now, Powers, I think Obenshain articulated what most Republicans believe, that it was an active cover-up generated by the President and the Secretary of State. Do you believe that as a Democrat?
I don't know that you can prove if it was a cover-up or if it was incompetence. I would say today is pointing more in the direction of a cover-up in the sense that you have Gregory Hicks.
Let me challenge that. I mean, Hicks basically said she got a call from Hillary Clinton at 2 in the morning, and Hillary Clinton didn't even ask him who did it.
Right.
Now,
well,
I mean, come on.
He said that he just assumed she knew that it was terrorism since it was so obvious.
It doesn't matter about Hicks. It matters about why didn't Secretary of State Clinton ask Hicks what the hell happened? You would have, I would have, Kay would have.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. But I think what matters more is that he said nobody on the ground thought it was anything but a terrorist attack. And also in the hearing, they were quoting an email that was sent by a senior State Department official to Libya saying that they knew that it was terrorism.
Okay, so you're making Kate Obenshain's point
Yeah,
that there was a
that's what I'm saying.
cover-up,
I
that
would
she
say up
knew
to
it,
this point,
and she covered it up anyway, and then you have to assume by extension the Secretary of State talks to the President. They both knew it was a terrorist attack, but sent this Ambassador Rice out to mislead the world. I mean,
well,
you're making your
I'm going to give you the
point.
counter. I'm going to give you the counter. So the counter to that is that they would claim that they were getting other intelligence from the intelligence community saying that it was the YouTube,
And there is some evidence that
they chose to
stuff
go
like
in that direction. So
filtered
that's
in.
why
All right,
I say I don't know if it's a cover-up or incompetence.
I'm going to give Kate the last word. Go.
There's been zero evidence that there was any indication that this was a spontaneous riot. There's been no evidence. Kirsten's point is not backed up by anybody, anything in the State Department, anything that any of the witnesses said today. And you have to look at the fact that even 3 weeks later, the President and the Secretary of State produced this video apologizing for American insensitivity on Islam. This is part of the narrative, and what happened in Libya went against the narrative, and they had to protect themselves. It is a cover-up.
All right.